battlefield is TikTok. It is flooded with such factory videos. Chinese suppliers are reaching out to American customers direct.
But do you know that more than 80% of the luxury leather products, like handbags, purses, and shoes of Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Gucci, Coach, Prada, you name it, most of them are made in China.
Louis Vuitton is in serious trouble right now. Shoppers are flooding stores after Chinese factories revealed big secrets about how these famous made-in-Europe bags are really made. People trusted LV for its high-end reputation, but now, they feel tricked. This isn't just a small PR hiccup like what happened with Balenciaga. It's a major upheaval. Buyers loved LV for its craftsmanship and prestige, but learning that key steps might happen overseas has them furious. They're demanding answers at boutiques worldwide. It's hard to know how Louis Vuitton can rebuild trust after this scandal. Stick around. I'll break down exactly what went wrong, how customers are reacting, and what the brand might do to fix this mess.
China makes 80% of your designer bags.
Who's the Chinese supplier behind Under Armour? Shenzhou International.
Nike shoes from China to your country?
Who are the suppliers behind Solomon, Timberland, New Balance, Adidas, Nike, la 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 la? First, the Baocheng factory.
It's not just calling them out, they're showing the world exactly where your $1,000 handbag or your $100 leggings are really being made. They're now offering you the same exact stuff, no middleman, no markup. In a bold move that seems more like economic warfare than manufacturing, Chinese workers are lifting the lid on $1 billion illusion.
It all started with a shocking video from a factory in China, and it spread like wildfire. In the clip, a worker casually revealed details about how Louis Vuitton products are actually made. Before anyone could blink, the video was everywhere. On TikTok, Instagram, and every group chat. For those who missed it, here's the rundown. The US had introduced new tariffs, hoping to put pressure on countries like China. But instead of backing down, China hit back by exposing just how much the world, including luxury brands, relies on their factories. Now, Louis Vuitton is caught in the middle of that storm. The big surprise? A huge number of their handbags, more than half, in fact, are being produced in China, not in Europe like we were led to believe. For years, the brand sold us the dream of handcrafted items from Italy or France. Turns out, much of that was just clever marketing. And customers? They're feeling betrayed and misled.
Even though these brands brag about being made in Europe, the video claims that more than half of Louis Vuitton's bags are actually made in China.
Let me break this down for you. People aren't angry just because these bags carry a Made in China tag, although that alone surprises plenty of longtime fans. What really has everyone boiling is how little it actually costs to produce one of these so-called luxury handbags. According to an inside source, the entire cost to build a Louis Vuitton bag in that Chinese factory can be as low as $15. Yet back here in Europe and the US, those same bags sell for thousands of dollars. Thousands. And all you're really paying for at that point is the logo slapped on during final assembly. Imagine thinking you own a piece of exclusive, handmade craftsmanship, only to discover it was churned out on a factory line for pocket change. Wouldn't you feel cheated? Wouldn't you want to storm into a store and demand answers? That's exactly what's happening on social media. Loyal customers are demanding refunds, sharing unboxing videos that call out the secret country of origin, and calling the brand out on every platform they can find. Of course, Louis Vuitton couldn't stay silent. They issued a statement insisting, "Our products always meet the highest standards," and swore that their quality remains top-notch. But with photos, videos, and even step-by-step guides circulating online on how to spot a China-made LV piece, no one's buying the old narrative anymore. Now, instead of prestige, some people just see a sticker price padding corporate profits. In the end, this isn't about doubting LV's ability to make a sturdy, stylish bag. It's about asking whether we've been fooled into paying luxury prices for mass-produced goods. And until the brand gives real, transparent answers, down to labor costs, materials, and assembly locations, this scandal shows no sign of fading away.
decades, we have been conditioned to believe that China is just one giant sweatshop pumping out crap while we are the sophisticated, high-end innovators. And it turns out China has just been patiently waiting for us to be completely dependent upon their manufacturers. They have been mastering every technology, absorbing every industry, and then building an empire that doesn't need us half as much as we need them.
But here's the twist. This scandal could be just the tip of the iceberg. China isn't backing off. In fact, more factory employees may soon step up and share even darker secrets about how these bags really come together. Picture what happens if dozens of workers around Shenzhen decide to speak out. Suddenly, every luxury label from Louis Vuitton to Prada might find its Made in Europe story unraveling in public. Yet, not everyone's upset. Some shoppers couldn't care less where their Louis Vuitton comes from. If the process happened on Mars, they'd still buy the bag, as long as it flashes that iconic LV monogram. For them, wearing Louis Vuitton isn't about craftsmanship or country of origin, it's about status. That logo represents success, style, and a certain social currency, so the small matter of a factory label barely registers. Still, for those who value honesty and fair pricing, this is a wake-up call. Are we simply funding corporate profit, margins, or should we demand transparency about how, where, and by whom luxury goods are made? As more voices emerge, it's clear this debate is far from over, and every brand will have to answer tough questions before shoppers fully forgive. And forget.
Asking you guys shall receive. You want a tutorial? I got you. So let's just click my link in my bio, and it's going to take you to my landing page. Just scroll down a little bit, and here you will find the spreadsheet. This is if you want my personalized help, and this is if you want anything added to the spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and click my spreadsheet. So here we have all of the vendors that I've compiled for you guys.
But here's where it really unravels. Louis Vuitton didn't just shrug off the Chinese factory scandal. They quietly bumped up prices on everything from leather totes to perfumes without warning. In early May, they slipped in a 3 to 6% hike across the board: wallets, travel bags, even those tiny key pouches. No email alert, no press announcement, just surprise sticker shock at checkout. Contrast that with other houses. Hermès, for example, tells customers exactly when and why costs climb, they'll post a notice. As of June 15th, prices rise 7% due to material shortages. Fair enough. LV's approach feels more like a late-night ambush. You walk in for your signature scent, and suddenly it's $40 more expensive. Overnight. Some will shrug and pay. After all, the monogram means status. The assumption is that Vuitton's devotees will queue around the block no matter what the tag reads. But quietly raising rates is a gamble. It sends a message that the brand thinks you won't notice or won't care enough to speak up. That arrogance stings. And remember how, during the pandemic, Vuitton blamed supply chain snarls for sharp increases? Now, in 2025, that excuse simply doesn't fly. The world is back in motion, raw materials are flowing again, and travel is booming. So what's left? Plain old greed, a push to pad profit margins while customers sleep. What really baffles is the timing. Right after the Made in Shenzhen uproar, when trust was already on shaky ground, they decided to raise prices in stealth mode. It feels less like business strategy and more like a slap in the face to brand loyalists. Other labels are watching. Chanel has quietly held its prices steady for now, and Hermès keeps its fans in the loop. But if Louis Vuitton's rivals see this profit-first attitude paying off, they may follow suit. And that could rewrite the luxury playbook into a game of who can hike prices the fastest. For shoppers, this is a wake-up call. We've long accepted that luxury costs more, but that price premium should cover superior materials, skilled craftsmanship, and honesty, not hidden markups and secret cost hikes. If a bag once billed as handmade in France is really assembled in a distant factory, and then the label, silently raises the bill again, the mystique evaporates. So next time you glance at that iconic LV pattern, ask yourself, am I buying genuine heritage or just funding a marketing scheme? And if our loyalty means little more than a guarantee of higher profits, maybe it's time to rethink what true luxury really means.
Now, a statement has been released to the press, seemingly from a source close to Louis Vuitton. In their statement, the source close to the brand said, Louis Vuitton want everyone to know that what these people are saying is completely false and untrue, and they want everyone to understand that every item LV releases is made under meticulously high standards.
This whole thing caught everyone off guard. After workers at factories in Guangdong shared internal drawings online, Louis Vuitton didn't just deny the claims, they took some of their own suppliers to court for sharing secret designs. And they weren't the only ones. Rumor has it that Hermès filed a similar suit, accusing partner workshops of passing off fakes of Birkin bags and Keepalls as the real deal, and flooding secondary markets with near-perfect copies. Insiders say those plants signed tight confidentiality agreements, but then handed original molds and instructions to outside dealers. That leak didn't simply embarrass the famous brands, it basically handed counterfeiters a recipe to churn out dozens of luxury models. Now both Vuitton and Hermès are demanding steep penalties, arguing that these firms betrayed years of trust and cashed in on their good name. Whispers suggest a few of those sites weren't only forging knockoffs after hours, they were building genuine trunks and totes by day, and switching to illicit production once management clocked out. If that rumor checks out, some of us have been toting authentic goods that rolled off the same line as bootlegs. It sounds unreal, but behind the scenes in high-end fashion manufacturing, this sort of double play isn't unheard of. In damage control mode, both houses insist they still oversee every cut of leather and stitch. They've promised strict checks and full accountability, yet loyal customers keep demanding to see the craftspeople at work. Let us tour the atelier. Show us how you really make these bags. So far, neither label has opened its doors. Meanwhile, those Guangdong factories are happy to stream their production for anyone on WeChat or WhatsApp, showing exactly how top-tier cases and straps are formed before a single logo is stamped. This showdown follows the Made in Shenzhen scandal, when a TikTok clip showed unbranded Vuitton pieces coming off a massive assembly line in southern China. That video spread like wildfire, and now millions are wondering if their five-figure luggage truly carries centuries of European skills, or simply clever branding. Some industry analysts argue these lawsuits are more about saving face than enforcing contracts. Big names hope that by threatening legal action, they'll scare copycats and prevent more leaks. But suing your own factories in public hints at a deeper problem. Either those partners betrayed you, or you never really knew who was building your goods. On top of that, the scandal has shaken LVMH's top ranks. Bernard Arnault, long expected to lead until his mid-80s, is rumored to be weighing an early departure after shares fell sharply and eroded billions of his fortune. At 76, he might decide the pressure isn't worth it. Hermès, too, is said to be internally reviewing its supply chain and management structure after this bombshell. For shoppers, it's a wake-up call. We've always assumed high prices meant handcrafted excellence in a Swiss chalet or an Italian workshop. Yet, if much of the actual work is happening in East Asia, perhaps what we're really buying is heritage, design, and marketing, more than local know-how. The next time you admire that LV logo, ask yourself, am I investing in centuries of technique, or am I just buying a label? This story isn't over. As buyers press for transparency, these fashion giants will have to decide whether to fully reveal their processes, welcoming customers into their studios, or accept that today's global economy makes made in more of a sales pitch than a guarantee. Either path will change how we think about luxury, skill, and the price of prestige. Right now, the only safe bet is to stay tuned. Whether you collect high-end pieces or simply follow the headlines, this court battle could redefine the business of beautiful things. And in a world where secrets surface faster than a limited edition release sells out, any brand that clings to old rules risks being left behind.